Today we're going to be revisiting Resident Evil. I am so excited to be making this video. It's just, oh man, the nostalgia is really hitting hard on this one. Man, what's this? Beginner, arrange mode? Dude, I'm a vet at this game. We're going with the original mode, obviously. We're gonna go ahead and play as Jill, my wifey. Now, for those of you that have not played this game before, we are not gonna skip the opening FMV. We are going to sit here and watch this together. 1998, July. Oh my gosh, dude, man, I just, okay, we're gonna put the controller down. We're gonna enjoy this together. Oh. Man.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
Found it?
No, I haven't found it yet.
It's so good. It's so good. If you guys haven't seen this before, you're not ready.
Cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
Oh, the voice acting. It's like a beat. Is that what they call it? Like a B-tier horror movie?
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it.
There's
But
the
strangely,
squad.
most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
The acting and the voice, like both the acting and the voice acting are both just S tier. It's funny, the first thing that we saw in Resident Evil wasn't even a zombie. It was a zombie dog, a Cerberus. Oh man, this is still fantastic. What do I even say? It's just, it's great.
No! Don't go!
For those of you that don't know, there was a certain port of this game where this FMV and the rest of the other cutscenes that were censored in the Western release were actually like fully uncensored, in color. I believe it was the Japanese PC release. Oh, here it is, the cast.
Chris Redfield.
There it is. Well, you can even see snippets of it there in color, but
Jill Valentine.
like that whole opening sequence is in color. I believe it's in the Japanese PC release.
Mary Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker.
Oh yeah, the bed.
Resident Evil.
Oh, it's so good. They have escaped into the mansion where they thought it was safe. Yet,
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it? Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
oh, how times have changed. Okay, I know I haven't been commentating too much so far, but obviously we've been sitting through a lot of cutscenes and such, but we have another one yet.
A dining room.
Anyways, here we are. Let me just make sure, yeah, my controls are all good to go. But, yeah, so this was gaming in the 90s and even the early 2000s. Well, honestly, even back in those days, the voice acting and such was considered a little corny here.
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this.
Like, that, I've never
Hope
understood.
this is not Chris's blood.
Okay, I didn't want to cut him off. But, I've never understood that, right? Because he sits here for, like, forever. And he's just sitting here, he's like, you go look for Chris. I'll be examining this. And he's just, like, turning his head back and forth. It's like, what are you examining? It's a pile of blood. Like, if he had, like, a tube and he was, like, examining, like, different, like, DNA strands, then maybe, but... dog, he's just sitting there staring at it. As much as I love this game and like everything about this game and the series as a whole, yeah, these first couple games, especially this first game, the voice acting, it's one of those things while like, yes, the voice acting is terrible, it's a part of the game, you know what I mean? And I love it for it. Okay, here we go. We got the big zombie reveal. Unfortunately, in this game, some of the cutscenes were censored and this is one of them. Because... There it is, the big zombie reveal. It's still spooky as ever. But anyway, in the uncensored versions of this game, like in the Sega Saturn release and some of the PC releases, it's uncensored. And while the zombie is like sitting there munching on the guy, there's a shot in between there where the zombie, before he turns his head to look at you, you'll see the skull fall on the floor and it'll fall on the floor and the head will turn towards you and like half of the face is eaten. There's like a skull and there's some blood there. And unfortunately, in this release of the game, that was entirely censored, so we didn't get to see that in certain releases. For the sake of the video and getting some action, and I'm gonna stand here and shoot him, but normally you actually wouldn't want to back up and shoot him. What you would want to do is run straight back for the door that we just came through, because regardless of whether you kill the zombie or not, once you go through this door, as you guys are about to see, a cutscene is gonna play where Barry finishes the job.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
So good.
What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Alright. Off to Wesker we go. But anyway, yeah, like, even back in the day, this voice acting, it was considered, like, even cheesy then. But that being said, that's just kind of, like, part of this game's charm. Like, even to this day, even though I'm sitting here laughing at it, like, I still love this game for what it... Like, I absolutely love Resident Evil 1, right? Like, this is one of my favorite games of all time.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
And even though the voice acting is obviously, like, kind of bad, not just by today's standards, but it's bad, period. In a way, like, that, it's part of the game's charm, because, again, it's kind of like that B-tier horror movie thing, flick, you know what I mean?
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And... Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
If you, the master of unlocking, take it. Oh my gosh.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
It's so good, man. It's so good. But anyway, like I've been trying to say, you know, despite the quality of the voice acting, it's part of the game's charm. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so bad, it's good. And furthermore, just because it's bad doesn't mean that it detracts from my enjoyment of the game. In fact, some of those like cornier and cheesier elements are part of why I love this game so much. Like, if the game was more realistic and it had more like actual good voice acting, like, sure, I would love it for that. But at the same time, like, the fact that it is so corny and it is so bad and it still doesn't detract from the game's quality overall evil, and if in a way it actually kind of like adds to the charm and quality of the game. I don't know, it's just one of those things where like I wouldn't change it for the world. Like this game to me, honestly, is just, it's perfect as it is. It's crazy, man. With how many times I've played this game, like I just, as soon as I go through this mansion, it almost feels like a second home to me. You know what I mean? Like you go through here, you know what hallways lead to where, what doors lead to where. You guys ready for this? Okay, oh god, okay, you know what? I was expecting it, and yet it even still got me. I hate that. Every time I go through that hallway, you know, like, I'm expecting the dog to jump through the window, but I always forget which window it is and, like, where specifically you have to step for it to trigger, and it always catches me off guard. I feel like that says more about the quality of the game, though, more than anything. Like, the fact that a game that is literally, oh my gosh, it's like 27 years old at this point, and it can still jump scare me, that somebody who has played this game probably hundreds of times. But oh, we got another zombie. See, normally I try to run around the zombies, but this is one zombie where I don't mind, like, actually shooting him in the face and then doing the whole run up and stab them while they're down strategy. Basically any zombie in this hallway, just because you will be coming here a lot, because as you guys are about to see in the door that we're trying to get through right now, the one that the zombies are blocking, there is a save room. Not only is there a save room, which in itself is really important, but there's also an item box, which, if you know anything about the Resident Evil, you're going to be using the item box a lot. Typically, my rule tends to be that when it comes to the save room over here on the right side of the mansion, I always clear this out so then I know that this is a safe route, but when it comes to the save room over on the left side of the mansion, I usually just leave those zombies there because they're easy enough to navigate past, but when it comes to this one right here, like, I don't mind clearing these guys out. I know nowadays when it comes to RE1, like most people will probably say, hey, you know, just go play the remake, right? But for me, as much as I love the remake, as fantastic of a game as that is, right? I feel like there's something to be gained from playing both versions of it, specifically playing the original one first and then playing the remake, just so then you can, like, further appreciate the enhancements and changes that version of the game made. I love this in the original. Like, the only way you could reload in-game was if your gun ran out of ammo, but if you wanted to reload, like, mid-mag, you had to come in here, combine it, and do it like that. And then right here you have some chemicals, which will not be useful until later in the game, but trust me, it'll be very worth it, because once you use the chemical, oh my gosh, you get drowned in herbs. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's literally a godsend depending on how you're doing by that point in the game. That's also where you gain access to a very vital key to the mansion. So for now, I'm just going to put some of the stuff in there. I don't want to clog up too much inventory space. Honestly, don't know if I'm going to be making any more videos on this. It depends on how this one does. If you guys want a full playthrough on this game, let me know. I'd totally be down to do it because, again, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Usually when I make these kinds of videos, I just kind of make them with the intentions of, like, revisiting them for a little bit, talking about them, playing through them, and just, I don't know, having a chill conversation with you guys. But in the case that any of these videos end up doing well enough, or if there happens to be like enough requests for a follow-up to it, then yeah, I'd totally be down to make some more videos on this if you guys would want to see it. And again, this is another one of those hallways. Typically for the first section of the game, I just kind of go through and kill almost all of the zombies, or at least all of the zombies in the main hallways that you're going to be running through a lot in the game, because you might as well. But for some other areas, like I was saying before, like the save room over on the left side of the mansion, I tend to just kind of leave those zombies alive because they're easier to navigate past. Those of you that haven't played RE1 before, sometimes it can be a little tricky to figure out what you're supposed to be doing in the first part of the game, and right now we're just trying to get the 4 crests. And then basically once you get all of those crests, then you'll be able to move on to the next section of the game. But basically that's all that you have to do for now. I know a lot of beginners, they tend to get a little stumped in this early part of the game because it's not exactly clear for a first time or what you're supposed to be doing, but that's literally it. Just get the 4 crests and don't overthink anything. As soon as you get access to like certain areas or certain keys, like always be trying to use them immediately. Don't just sit there stockpiling being like, hey, you know what, I'll get back to it later. Oh no, I shot him 4 times. I thought he was going to go down. Okay, the 5th time. This one seems to be a bit tougher, so I'm going to stab him while he's down. Oh my gosh, this guy, this one has a lot of HP. I'm not taking any more chances with the knife. I'm shooting you in the face. He had so much HP. I shot him like 7 times, and then I stabbed him 3 times, and only then did he actually go down. That is insane. Another key tip for beginners, if you guys haven't played the original Resident Evils before, back in the day, it was designed for like the original PS1 controllers that didn't have analog sticks. I cannot recommend playing this game with analog sticks. Always play it with the D-pad. At least that's what works best for me anyway. And on your first playthrough of the game, in most games, I'm not the type of guy that slows down to read notes. Like if I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't sit there reading all the different notes in the game or different logs or whatever. When it comes to Resident Evil games, it's different because it's sort of similar to like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and those types of games where a lot of the story is not necessarily locked behind this stuff. It's just rather it gives you more info as to what's going on. So I always highly recommend going around and picking this stuff up, especially this one, because if you're a beginner and you haven't played Resident Evil before, this one teaches you how the herbs work, how the mixings of them work, and there's a lot of handy books like that around, but then there's also more handy books around where it'll like tell you more about the story and stuff like like that. Especially as you get farther into the game and you find like journals and diaries of people that are kind of like keeping logs of their transformations as they're like slowly turning into zombies and stuff. It's honestly kind of sad reading some of those diaries, but it's always really interesting. You guys may have noticed that in my inventory, I haven't been picking up any ink ribbons, and that's because right now I'm emulating this game on DuckStation, so we have access to save states, and you know, some people might call that cheating, but dude, I've beaten this game legitimately on real hardware literally dozens of times, so it's not like one of those things where I'm like cheating myself of an experience. Like, I've already experienced this game so many times before, so it's not a big deal. And plus with these recording sessions, it'll just make it more convenient. If I do go on to make more videos on this, then I'll be able to set up like 2 different save states at once, just so then if one recording ever happens to get corrupted for one reason or another, then I'll be able to like have a backup there.
Barry!
Here we go, next cutscene.
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful.
It's not even a weapon, it's
especially
rounds.
against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Oh man. Yeah, see, it's not even a weapon, he literally just gives you rounds. I never understood why it's like it's really powerful, because you don't get the launcher or the bazooka until you go outside. Oh man, this game is so good. But anyway, I think this is where we're gonna set up our first save state. And one thing I wanted to point out before we do that, he said this hall is dangerous. This is literally the only safe place in this entire game. This is the safest place. No enemies ever come out here. How is this hallway dangerous? Anyways, I haven't really tried to do this before, so I believe we have to go into system and then save state, and then we can just put it into game save 1, and then boom, we have our save state right there. So now it's all set up. If you guys want more videos on this, we can, and if not, then that's okay too. Anyway, as always, a massive shout out and thank you to all the Patrons and channel members. Thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, and an even bigger shout out and thank you to all of you in the big baller tier, Mellow Lasking, and Big Daddy Matty, and the biggest shout out and thank you to all of you in the G tier, Rider Vengeance, and Low Cheese Girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.